So let's talk about this. What if the best way to cure a criminal mind was to just erase it? Today, we're diving into the story of the Tantalus V penal colony. On the surface, it's a revolutionary hospital for the insane, but underneath, it's hiding a truly terrifying secret about what makes us, well, us. Right from the jump, we get this central conflict. Captain Kirk, he sees this place run by the brilliant Dr. Tristan Adams, and he sees progress, a humane solution. But his chief medical officer, Dr. McCoy, he's not buying it. He sees something much, much simpler, and he says it perfectly. A cage is a cage. That one line just perfectly frames the whole debate. Are we looking at a place of healing, or is this just a really fancy prison? So the Enterprise is just about to leave orbit when a message comes in from Dr. Adams. He says a potentially violent inmate has somehow escaped and is probably hiding in one of the cargo containers they just beamed aboard. And just like that, the whole ship is on red alert. And this, right here, is where the official story starts to completely fall apart. And it's all because of one very desperate man. So after this really tense ship-wide search, they finally cornered the guy on the bridge. He is frantic, he is desperate, and the first thing he does is demand asylum. He says there's no way he's going back to Tantalus. The only problem, his story, it makes absolutely no sense at all. Just listen to how he's talking. It's all fractured and broken. He's claiming he's the colony's director, not some patient, and he keeps talking about his mind being erased. He's clearly in agony, terrified, but his words just sound like the ravings of a madman. And this plants that first little seed of doubt. What is really going on down on that planet? So now we've got this totally impossible situation. There are two completely different realities being presented, and Captain Kirk is trapped right in the middle of them. Think about it. On one hand, you have the celebrated humanitarian Dr. Adams. He calmly explains that Van Gelder was his associate who had a tragic accident while testing a new device. But on the other hand, you've got Van Gelder himself insisting Adams is a monster who's using that same device to literally destroy people's minds. I mean, who are you going to believe? The respected doctor or the hysterical escapee? And that is the question Captain Kirk has to answer, because despite Dr. Adams's flawless reputation, something just feels off. Kirk trusts his gut, and he decides the only way to know for sure is to go see the colony for himself. And at the absolute center of this entire mystery is one machine, the so-called neural neutralizer. Now, when Kirk gets down there and starts investigating the treatment room, Dr. Adams shows him the machine. He presents it as this benign failed experiment. He says it's just a harmless beam that was supposed to relax patients, but that Van Gelder foolishly cranked it up to full power and used it on himself. And you know what? It all sounds perfectly plausible. Meanwhile, back up on the Enterprise, Spock takes an incredible risk. Van Gelder is way too agitated to make any sense, so Spock resorts to the Vulcan mind melt. And this is a rare, deeply intimate technique. He's trying to peel back all those layers of fear to get to the truth buried underneath. And the truth he finds, it's horrifying. The neutralizer doesn't just relax you, it erases you. It creates this total void, a blank slate, that leaves your mind begging for any thought, any command at all, from the person at the controls. The real torture isn't pain, it's the agony of being completely and utterly empty. The machine doesn't just change you, it unmakes you. Now, Spock tries to warn Kirk, but his message gets all garbled. Kirk is now completely cut off, unsure of who to trust, and he realizes there's only one way he's going to find the real truth. He has to try the machine on himself. So with the ship's psychiatrist, Dr. Helen Newell, at the controls, Kirk actually volunteers for a demonstration. He figures, hey, a simple, harmless suggestion will prove once and for all how this thing really works. I mean, talk about a massive gamble. And it works with this terrifying efficiency. First, Kirk's mind just goes blank. Then, Dr. Nowell is able to successfully implant the simple thought that he's hungry. But then they discover the third, really sinister step. Any attempt to fight the implanted thought results in agonizing pain. The machine doesn't suggest, it compels. But just as they're realizing how dangerous this thing is, Dr. Adams walks in. He immediately seizes the controls, turns the full power of the machine on Kirk, and starts implanting a much more complex and dangerous suggestion, an all-consuming, powerful love for Dr. Noel. And this just brilliantly shows the device's true power. I mean, despite his incredible willpower, Kirk can't fight it. The pain is just too much. He gives in, and in that moment, that lie becomes his absolute, undeniable truth. He is completely under Dr. Adams' control.
So, Kirk is captured. Dr. Adams is in total control. It really seems like all is lost. But the final, desperate confrontation is just about to begin.
In the chaos, Dr. Noel manages to get away. She actually crawls through the air ducts, finds the colony's main power conduit, and shorts out the entire system. Now, this causes a ton of confusion, but more importantly, it deactivates the force field that was stopping the Enterprise from beaming anyone down. And that's the opening Spock needed. He and his security team immediately beam down to her location. They find Kirk. He's dazed, but he's slowly starting to fight off those implanted memories. Together, they all race to the treatment room for one final confrontation. But when they burst into the room, it's empty, except for Dr. Adams. He's just sitting in the neutralizer chair, perfectly still, and he's dead. And this is the final mystery, isn't it? The machine wasn't set to kill. It was only on a moderate setting. An accidental death seems impossible. So what happened? How did the man who perfected mind control become a victim of his own machine? It's Kirk, having just experienced the machine himself, who provides the chilling answer. When the power was shut off, Adams must have been alone and accidentally turned the beam on himself, and the machine did what it does. It emptied his mind completely. But with no one else there to give him new thoughts, he was just left utterly, totally alone in a silent, empty void. And that's Kirk's haunting conclusion. Dr. Adams didn't die from an energy beam or some physical attack. He died of absolute loneliness, the ultimate horror of a conscious mind with nothing in it. And it leaves us with this chilling final question. What are we without our thoughts, without our memories, without our identity? Maybe we're just an empty vessel, waiting for a command that will never, ever come.